Hello there, I am Sherry Truler with Red Apple Auctions. Thank you for joining me, where today we're going to be talking a little bit about your ticket price, specifically if you're a school. I've been meeting with a number of school auction committees recently here, and boy, howdy, nothing gets people going than to suggest that maybe they should increase their ticket price. Woof! All of this stuff comes out. So what I wanted to do today is share a story with you that I read last year that I thought might serve as inspiration for you if this is a hot button within your own committee. Now, the ticket price, huge debate here, and it doesn't matter whether I'm talking to a school whose tuition is $3,000 or closer to $30,000. The debates really are the same, and you have valid concerns. I hear things like, Sherry, we want to make sure that this isn't a snooty affair. We don't want to have this between the haves and the have-nots. And we're a community here. We're a tight-knit community, and we want to make sure that it's affordable for everybody. And we've got parents here who can afford the tuition full fare and others who can't, but we don't want there to be this division within the school. I get that, and you really have to walk a fine line between being a fundraiser and being this community affair that all of the parents can participate in and feel that they're part of the community. And I have watched these enormous debates raise in these committee meetings. Even if someone suggests just raising the ticket price like $5, it can really set people off. So consider this, a story about a group that went from zero to $750. Huge increase. Let me tell you a little bit about this. I think it can be inspiring for you. So I was reading in a magazine last year, and it was called, the organization was called the Catholic Schools Foundation. They're in Boston, and it would appear from what I've read that their spring fundraiser would raise money for their inner city schools scholarships. So if there was a family or a child and they wanted to have a Catholic education there in the inner city there in Boston, that there were scholarships to provide them with that education. Now traditionally this spring event has been free. So they would invite their donors in, but it was a totally free, a stewardship event. We like to call it a friend-raiser instead of a fundraiser. But they decided last year in 2010, this was their 20th anniversary, and they were going to charge. And in the article it said, well, why did you decide to start? And they said, well, we looked around and all of the other galas are charging, and we need to keep up. So that was the impetus for part of the charging anyway. So they, as you can imagine, are sitting there in these committee meetings debating, what are we going to charge? Is it going to be $250 a ticket? $500? $1,000? Where do you draw the line? So if you think about you and your $5 or $10 increase, imagine what goes when you charge nothing, and now you're going to charge something. You're probably thinking, are people going to come? How are we going to make sure that they feel like we still appreciate them and we're not just always badgering them for money? All of those discussions. Well, the results were $2.6 million is what they raised in tickets and sponsorships. That's huge! It almost makes you think, my gosh, what would they have raised in 2009? Did they lose out on $2 million because they didn't do this in 2009? And what about 2008? And how many millions of dollars have they lost over the years by not charging? So that's kind of the story there. And here's the takeaways in my mind. First, don't be afraid to reevaluate your ticket price. What would it cost to go out to dinner in your community? What kind of entertainment are you offering? Do you have a DJ? Do you have a band? If you have an auction, you should have some entertainment, right? The auctioneer should be entertaining, so that's already you're providing entertainment that night. Do you have an open bar? So don't be afraid. Look at what you're providing from a value standpoint and put that into your ticket price. Secondly, don't be afraid to expand the scope of your sponsorship. So oftentimes when I'm working with these school committees, they think, well, only the parents will support us, or only the parents who have a business, only that business would be interested in supporting us. And they kind of just look within their own zip code, if you will, of the school, not beyond that. But at this particular event, I just want to share with you here, not that it's a direct comparison, but that it will serve as inspiration. They had a chair of the event, his name, high-powered guy, Bob Kraft. He owns the Patriots. Obviously, the guy has a lot of connections. He pulled and leaned on them to get them to buy sponsorships anywhere from $1,000 to $100,000. Fidelity's Peter Lynch, big philanthropist as well. I'm sure he also, because he was being honored at the gala, he probably also was able to bring in some companies as well through his connections. But again, they're raising money for a Catholic Schools Foundation, Catholic education. I've got to believe that out of all of these companies that they had buying sponsorships from $1,000 to $100,000, that not all of those companies were led by CEOs who were Catholic. Now, maybe they were. I haven't done the research, but I've got to believe that they weren't. But yet they were still contributing a sponsorship because somebody had reached out to them and asked them to. Maybe it was Bob Kraft, maybe it was Peter Lynch. I don't know the inside story on all of that. But the point is that you can emulate that and you can use it within your own community. Don't be afraid just because maybe you are a Lutheran school that you feel that you have to go to people who are Lutherans, or don't feel that just because you're an independent school that only the parents will support you. There are other people who are out there who will support you. And so I want you to nix these self-limiting beliefs that you might have. Your gala is worth it. Look at what you're offering and feel confident in the value that you're offering. And then number two, there's a lot of people who haven't yet heard about your gala that I know would be willing to support you. You just need to get the word out and talk to them about what it is that makes your nonprofit or your school so special. Share your enthusiasm with them. Now, if you're looking for a free tool, I've got other free information on the website. That's at redappleauctions.com. And the free gift right now is my auction item guide. It's called What Sold Like a Gem in 2010. And it has 100 items that I sold for overvalue last year. It's wonderful for your auction acquisition meetings. You'll get a lot of good ideas. We get great feedback on it. So you can get that at redappleauctions.com. I'm Sherry with Red Apple Auctions. Thank you for watching. And as always, good luck to you in your charity auction.